We love it. We hate it. We hate it and love it again. Yes, it's Warcraft, and we're here to talk about it. Welcome to the WoW Reckoning Hour. Hello, fellow gamers, and welcome to episode 6 of the WoW Reckoning Hour. First off, I hope everyone had a really good Valentine's Day in your own right. I am Leonard, your host of the show, along with my co-host Sam, and we're here to continue to talk to you about fun things to look forward to in 7.2, along with some stuff with LFR and others. But before we get into everything, let's kind of go over what we've been up to this week. So, Sam, as usual, take it away.
Okay, hi everybody. What did I do this week? Again, just continue to grind out my artifact power. I also finally got working on Insurrection on my priest, so I can get that quest line done. And also I'm just trying to really grind out my reputation because my priest is a tailor and an enchanter, and you would not believe the amount of quest chains that you have to do to get the patterns for both of those. Going back down into old school dungeons and raids to find this stuff. So I'm just trying to get all that done and over with so that I can go work on my hunter, because I have a hunter I have to beat.
Ooh, That's awesome.
I know.
What level is it?
My hunter, she's 71, so I actually did it quite a bit. Remember when I was playing her a lot? But I believe you issued a challenge last week, didn't you? Stating no hunter could ever beat you.
Oh, no. It's not exactly what I said. I said I have not ever been in a group where I've gotten beat by a hunter of the same eye level as me.
Okay, so I took
I'm
that
not
as
saying
a
it can't happen. I know some amazing hunters out there. All I'm saying is it has not happened to me yet.
Well, it will. It will happen. 'Cause I'm gonna do it. That's my challenge. I'm gonna do it.
Are you gonna be BM or Marks?
Yeah, you know what? I'm kind of torn.
Because if you go Marks, I mean, a really good marksman player, maybe say my level. They should be pretty close to beating me. But if you're gonna play BM, you can go ahead and chalk it up to a loss.
Okay, well maybe I'll just do both Beast Mastery and Marksman, and then when I play against you, I'll just be a Beast Mastery, and then when you're crying at the bottom of the scatter meter, I'll hand you some Kleenex.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, so that's I'm actually just really what I'm struggling with, that little bit of, I think, WoW slump the last couple of weeks, where I'm kind of not that I have a problem grinding out anything, but I'm oh God, I just want to be done grinding on my priest so that I can go, and every once in a while I need a reset. I need to level a character from 1. So, right. Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It seems like that sickness is slowly growing out there. Yeah. For me, I enjoy these times because I can get on and do what I need to do. Mm-hmm. I can hang out if I need to. I don't feel pressured for anything. I can knock out things. I'm getting artifact power, and all that kind of good stuff for my survival and things of that nature. But
grinding out the love rocket.
I mean, it's yeah. God, that thing never freaking drops, man. That thing never drops.
You know what never drops is because I was silly and I didn't really fully understand the achievements. So I got the necklace on the first time I ever went in there on Brooks, and then I vendored it. And before using it, so I every day I've been going in there since the first day trying to get a freaking necklace to drop, and all it does is drop perfume for me. At this point, I don't even care about the love rocket. I'm where's this freaking necklace? I've got this thing 9 times on my priest.
Yeah, the there's also a brooch that does the same thing that will release, because I got a necklace and a brooch now, but
maybe I'll be lucky enough to worthless grab a brooch today.
Yeah. For me, I haven't been I've been really, what I've been doing this week is anticipating, having a lot of fun watching Biggles play Resident Evil 7. God. And so everyone listening, I had so many cool things of sounders of him that I recorded and I had them ready. And then today I get in, I wake up and do all my errands and everything like that. And I get on and get all these ready, and they're gone. They're if they're the ones that are there are broken in some way. I don't know, some technical issue that I was doing because I was messing with it late last night, and I should have just left them alone. But something I did broke them. But next week I will be have them all through the entire show. There's
maybe you should just bring the Biggles on the show one day.
Oh man, but it's his things. The
Sorry,
pups.
guys.
The pups
Sorry,
are excited
guys.
about Biggs.
The dogs are happy. And no, you know what happened? Here's what happened. After texting my husband that we were podcasting, guess what he did, Snipe?
What'd he
Guess
do?
what he did? He came to the window that's
Oh.
attached to the office and was banging on the door. So clearly, sorry about that, everyone. And you might hear some more of it, but we really did try this time.
Yeah.
Way to go, Andre. Way to go.
But yeah, so but Biggles, anyone that watches our show, listens to our show, thank you. But go to twitch.tv. You can do a simple thing of Scaredy-Cat plays war game. Yeah, the funniest thing I've ever seen. I've seen some really funny stuff out there, but watching him play it is amazing. Like I have nothing to say on that.
I told you. And like, here's the funny thing, guys, is like after I told him about this, like in the recording, we went and we did, what were we running? Drunk Ian Heroic or some crap last week.
Oh God, yeah.
And Brooks broke out the tequila, so it was a little weird. But so I was telling him about this, and then Snipe like goes and finally watches this, and he will not stop. He was just like, "We cannot get this guy to shut up." We were like, "Would you stop?" He's just like laughing like crazy. But like, if you want to go watch Biggles, man, go just look up Twitch/Bigley TV, and he's there.
Yeah, Bigley TV. Yeah, most definitely. No words other than just amazing.
I know.
But yeah, that's basically. Other than that, I keep wanting to try to get onto my druid. I always like. I was like, well, I just need to get my dailies done. And going through those, and then as soon as I want to hurry up and get these done, because as soon as I'm done with these, I'm gonna jump on my druid and get some levels going. And then I do that. I get on my druid, and I still don't think I've left the order hall because I get on. I'm like, I don't want to do this.
Yeah, that was me yesterday.
That's leveling by yourself. Me and Death were he was supposed to. It was supposed to be my druid and his death knight. And then weeks ago he went to 110 already, and I was just like, well, dang.
I can't do that. I don't like leveling with other people because I'm kind of like my own little person, and so I get kind of sidetracked, especially if I have a profession that like I need to go gather. And Andre will tell you, like, if you ask him, I'm annoying trying to level with. But I was gonna say something to you. Oh yeah, I understand how you feel because I've been trying to just grind that reputation out for my priest, and I keep getting distracted by like RuPaul's Drag Race.
Right.
Random, I know, but like I was like, oh, I'd rather go watch the drag queens than do this. So
oh my God. I actually, well, I remember last time I was mentioning that I was like, I think I'm gonna start messing around with some of my console games. So I grabbed one of them out, and one I got for Christmas, I think, and I still haven't even really played it. But I got Call of Duty Infinite Warfare, and I don't like it.
Really, I love Call of Duties. I usually love them.
I know, I do too. I usually like especially like with the ghosts, the Call of Duty Ghost and stuff like that. I really get involved in that storyline, and things of that nature. But this Call of Duty Infinite Warfare, I'm like, what am I fighting for? And I'm there, and I got so many, like, it's just, it's cool aspects, like they have dogfighting in there a lot. Yeah. And as you're going, it's just, I guess it's just not connected with me a lot. I'm ready for Death. Me and Death are going to be tackling down the Gears of War 4. I'm trying to talk him into we get started on this a lot sooner. He's like, oh, I need like a few weeks. I'm like, I don't want to wait 3 weeks to play this dang game. It's been out already for a while. But I'm ready because we always played Gears of War together.
Are you feeling a little lonely? Because isn't he going to Disney World or something at the end of right soon here?
End of the month.
Mardi Gras. Yeah. That's why he needs a couple of weeks. He's taking the kids to Disney.
Yeah, I guess he's going next weekend, I guess would it be. Next weekend.
Yeah.
So hopefully
he'll come back and play with you because you seem very sad that he's not.
Well, I'm just ready to play Gears because I love that story. That story is awesome.
I've never played, but it sounds. I've seen the commercials and it looks really fun. So.
Yeah, it is awesome. But But yeah, that's kind of what we've been up to. And now we got to get into the quick news. All right, so first off, it's a weird thing, but I know everyone here potentially listening, or maybe you didn't, but you heard about them. The first off, I want to say congratulations to the Rock and Roll Express, an old school. I saw this on Facebook post. They made the well, it is WWE now. It was WWF, but Hall of Fame. So they're going in. I remember when I used to watch wrestling when I was a kid. Rock and Roll Express were my favorite.
Were they really? I was a Hulk Hogan girl, so
yeah, I mean, it was that, all of those guys. Those, but congratulations to those. It's been it seems like they're just trying to fill. I mean, it's the WWE Hall of Fame, so it's not like it's professional, it's actor, whatever. But
it's
congratulations,
cool.
Congratulations, Rock and Roll Express.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so as well, we're getting to some of the Heroes of the Storm. Lucio is now live on Heroes of the Storm. Been seeing him a lot. I've been doing they have the 15 friend game is live as well for your mount. So obviously it's getting a lot of action out there. But Lucio's there. I keep watching him out there, and there's so when you play those 15 games with the friend, there's a new also they released a new brawl, or not a new brawl, but the Ghost Protocol brawl. It's like kind of one shot, one kill type kind of thing, but those don't count towards the friends games. So you have to do regular games. You can't do brawls because they're quicker games. I guess they were trying to get people to not push doing a bunch of brawls real quick. But it's a lot of fun. We go check that one out. Me and Drama are actually already started. We're going to be playing, I think, kind of a little bit after the podcast. We're going to be playing some Heroes of the Storm.
Andre and I too. We got to get them done. It's be fun.
Yeah. As well, other than that, there's really hasn't been much going on with some of the other Blizzard titles. With Hearthstone, it's the Year of the Mammoth or something like that. So go check that out.
And they're like bringing some of the cards are going into like their legendary. I don't know. We're not Heroes of the Storm, or sorry, no. Hearthstone players. I played it once to get them out, and I was like, oh, yeah, fun. No, done.
Yeah, I've gone in and I've done it to mess around on there, but it's really not my cup of tea. It's really cool. I wish I could play against people that can't restart an account. I just play against people at my level because I don't really know all the cards. I kind of just make or obviously make a Rexar deck. But yeah, I mean it's pretty neat. So Hearthstone players, go check that out. And as far as Overwatch, really nothing much going on there. And then for WoW, there has been quite a bit of hot fixes, or not quite a bit, but there's been. So now a big change is every boss in Nighthold drops AP. Obviously, if you roll a coin, you can also get extra AP. Thanks, Blizzard. They should just take that away.
Yeah.
Ellison got some significant. Yeah, right. Ellison got some specific significant changes. So go check those out. There's also been some Druid, Paladin, and Shaman PvE tweaks. So if you play one of those classes, go check out some blue posts, go see those hot fixes, go read those notes on your class. And then a huge thing out there is Ian went and did a blue post about some pretty cool AP changes, or AP discussion, I guess I should say, their intentions and where they failed so far, and hope to fix this in 7.2. So first off, I want to say, so Brooks, did you see that? Did you get a chance to read all that?
I did. Yeah, I did.
So I'll let you take it a little bit. This is very big, guys. This is just, what was this, yesterday? This was posted, or this morning?
Well, I think it was posted yesterday, but I woke up to it this morning in my Twitter feed. So, okay. Well, what do I have to say about this? First of all, I don't know when World of Warcraft became a game where everybody needs to get a trophy, but I can tell you, I think that games are made for competitors, not for crying little bitches in a corner. Sorry,
boom.
But that's how I feel.
Hold on. Just because you said that, I'm gonna.
That's how I feel. Like, okay, for example, and I might rant a little bit, but here's what's going to happen. Like, this is how I feel. I feel like me, you, other people, I know, and I understand that people who play World of Warcraft don't necessarily always have the most time to play. My husband is a great example of this because he only gets to play on the weekends, and sometimes, some nights he'll come home at 8 o'clock, jump on raid with us, and like then we go to sleep, right?
Right.
So he barely has time to play. Like I would say probably every other person in our guild has more time to play than him, right? But he still has ground out his artifact power. He still has his hidden artifact in pretty much almost in every single character, in almost every single spec. He takes the time, he plays what he wants to play, okay? So we've already had this conversation in podcasts about the fact it's so easy to get artifact power now. They're so easy. It's like Blizzard was like, oh, like the same crap right now. Well, things don't seem to be quite equal. Well, they're not supposed to be equal, Blizzard. You know, there's people who play more than other people. This kind of feels like why they created LFR to me. Well, you know, raiders are raiders, and raiders shouldn't always get what they want, and raiders shouldn't have the best gear. And well, yes, we should. You know why? Because we go and we bang our heads off a wall for 3 hours to kill a boss. That's why we should. And I don't agree with this. I think I'm like trying to say a million things at once. I think that originally when they brought out the 7.2 artifact power, where they wanted to go with it and how much it was going to cost, at first I was like, that's a lot. But then I looked at how much more the research was going to give you, and I was like, well, it's kind of the same. So it doesn't really matter. It's equivalent. But
right. Well, they also said they also have said on there that these numbers on there in PTR for this, they're just kind of like placeholders. Those are far from being definite. They're probably going to come down quite a bit on those, but they're just there to hold as they're messing with these things.
But you can't feel for 1 second like I'm completely actually kind of offended by this post. Like, I really feel like I put a lot of work and effort into the game. And like we just said, I'm getting to the point right now where grinding artifact power for me is like pulling teeth. But I still am doing it because it is what it is. Like, there's a reason that Blizzard put this in, and now we're going to do it. And when I'm done, I'm done. And perhaps if you can't, you know, put the time and energy into the game that's necessary to be that top, or not, I'm not going to say top tier rating because we are not top tier raiders, but I mean like on the same level as the rest of your guild, then perhaps you need to find a different or a better place that fits your time schedule and your abilities, because I shouldn't be penalized because you can't play as much as me.
Right. So I see this post and I take it on a couple different ways on reading it. So first off, I'm you know, I agree with Brooks on this. I don't think that if I put more time in that I understand they're trying to make the gap closer or not so far off from each other. Whereas, you know, if I put more time in and I'm stronger, that's the point. I mean, I know I was at 54 and there was other people not even close to the 54 and they're still beating me on DPS.
Yeah.
It means that class is stronger. Like, I wasn't 10% above everyone else just because I was at 54 on my artifact weapon.
I'm not either. Like, look at us. We are never, me and you are never number one, but we're never the last. We're in the middle, and it depends on the fight. And that's the thing.
Except for, I would say, Skyperion now. Like, I can't, like, I do, like, every fight after that, I'm within, like, somewhere between, like, sometimes 6, but, you know, usually somewhere around, like, 2, 3, maybe 4, but, I do great, but that fight, I don't know, like, everyone's got way too much AoE abilities. Even when they boosted my AoE abilities, it's like, it doesn't matter. Because everyone's
you
just
bounce
like,
it off
what the flip up.
I know, but that's normal. Like, and here's the thing, Blizzard, like, you can't say something like this and then expect people to, like, if you're trying to narrow the gap so that we'll bring just about anybody into our raid group, it's still not going to change anything, because it's not about how many traits you have in your weapon. It's all about how much DPS you can do and how you follow mechanics. It has nothing to do with this. So yes, raiders at this point going into Nighthold are asking that you have it hidden because it gives you a 5% DPS increase. And when you have bosses like Titocondrius and Cronus, where it is a DPS race, you need as much DPS as you can get, especially on Heroic and Mythic. So it isn't going to change that, if that's what they're trying to change. And you know what? There's a place for those people. It's called LFR, and I don't know if you've seen them in the last week, but
Yeah.
this kind of stuff, like,
We'll be getting into
man.
those questions or going into that a little bit later. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I see where they're coming from, where they're trying to close the gap. But the main thing that I'm taking from this, and kind of like where the frustration is reiterating into that is that someone that doesn't have a lot of time and someone that has a lot of time. It's always been that way, though. Like, if someone puts
Always.
more time, like, why should I work harder to not, like, even when I was like, so when we were putting this 20 dump in, right, to get to 54, it would take me like 2 to 3 days. I would say it was like almost about 3 days or so, like putting all my artifact, not giving a little bit here and there. It's all into my main artifact, my main spec weapon. And I would get about a quarter of the way, sometimes maybe halfway, just depending on how many artifact power quests, daily quests that were out there. But it take me, like I say, like 3 days almost to finally get to my next point. Like, that's 3 days of time that I put into that.
That's right.
And then, I mean, and they also, like, it resets at 9. And you have all day to do this crap. Like, you have all day. A lot of these bigger ones, they so if you come on and play for like an hour a day, you're still almost putting as much as me. Maybe I get a little bit quicker because if I, like, every 6 hours, there's a new one, a potential artifact power, quest that can be out there, and I'll go out there and grab it real quick and they'll be done. But at 9 o'clock, it comes out. And so everyone still has time to do it, just like with anyone that's spending more time in there. But if you miss, like, for a week, or you're not playing for a couple of days and you feel like you're behind the curve, well, you should be behind the curve because you missed a week. You made that choice. So it's cool that with this, like, it's,
Here's the thing, Snipe. We went in, we cleared normal on Tuesday, normal night hold. I pulled
slowly. We were so slow on Tuesday.
We were a little bit slow, but I pulled out 0 pieces of gear and 1,000,000 artifact power. 1,000,000 artifact power from one, and it was probably more actually, but from one Nighthold normal run, which, yes, there are more mechanics than Emerald Nightmare, but people are doing this in pugs. So you're literally getting 1,000,000 artifact power from 3. We did that in 3 hours. So really 2 hours and 45 minutes minus our break. So 2.5, I guess. So 2.5 hours of your time, which people are doing anyway, and you're getting 1,000,000. To me, I can understand. I completely understand. You get to your hidden trade and you're like, I'm done. But even just casually playing the game, which I would say I've pretty much been doing on Brooks for the last 2 weeks since I maxed out my artifact power. When I say casually, I mean, like, if I'm not running around trying to avoid Kaltha Zed players because all I'm trying to do is just get my archaeology mount, or doing the Valentine's Day stuff, or doing my 1 emissary a day, I'm still 3 into my hidden on my prot spec. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, definitely. And I'm trying to figure out where he's pulling some of these numbers from. Where is he seeing this from? Because what he's talking about is so anyone that hasn't read this, go read this. It's a really good read. And give your take onto or express it with other people.
Wowhead, MMO, and Icy Veins. You can see it all 3 places, guys.
Or just go to Blizzard and click on the news. I mean, it's from Ian. So, so what they're talking about essentially with this is that there was where they fail was there's this huge gap, and I really think they're looking like Mythic Raiders and stuff because they're looking at everyone's got the best in slot gear, they got everything. So where is this percentage? And I understand where you're going to pull these numbers because those are the most. I guess you would think of it as the true numbers because so if everyone is at equal eye level, everyone's at an equal level playing field. All right, so where is this going? So if people had 54 trait and someone was just starting, you're looking at a 10% in DPS gap, but that's 20 things. That's over a month. Like, I've done nothing but put everything except for a small time I was messing with a little bit of marksman, but since the game's come out, I put everything into my Beastmaster. Like, so I finally got my 54, and then they're like, well, the gap should be there. Like, that's just how it is.
There are people starting at 110. Like, there should be a gap. That's like saying your alt shouldn't have a gap towards your main.
Right, exactly. And it doesn't make sense. And so now what they're looking at is 7.2 is that they're going to close that gap so that percentage isn't as high as it isn't so high, is that what they're looking at is like, all right, so when you get to that 20 player or that 20 item dump, is that it's going to, like, when you put into this, you're going to get like a 1.5 or a 1 0.5 and then a 3% increase. Like it's going to do in the increase in a lot slower amount of time, where everyone that is, maybe if they're at, so let's just say the 54 is the max. So if someone's at, 50 and someone's at 52, you're really going to only see, we're not going to see any difference, which I think is stupid. Like, that's not fair. Like, that's days of time and they've making this, and through this post that they've also, how they're also fixing this, is they're saying that they're getting the artifact thing that's going to go up higher, so it's going to take longer for someone to level into this. So I'm going to put all this extra time, and I'm not going to be doing
it's
better.
You're not. It's not scale.
They're like, oh, you're going to do better. You're just going to do like 0.5. Fuck off.
But look what they did too. Look what he said in there as well. Well, we don't want people just running Maw Souls and grinding out their artifact power that way, where raiders are going in. But what does that even have anything to do with it? There has always been a multifaceted way of doing a lot of different things in World of Warcraft. So how can you turn around and say, okay, guys, well, we don't want you just spam running mythic Maw Souls until to getting artifact power, because it only takes you 15 minutes. Well, there's always been a way to do everything the easy way, if you want to say, or the quick, fast way. So if that guy chooses to do it that way, but I choose to run around and quest because it doesn't bother me, or you choose to go do PvP all day, what does it fucking matter? I mean, it's the way you choose to grind out your artifact power. That to me, this just reeks of, I'm a millennial and I'm not getting what I want, and so I'm gonna cry about it to Blizzard, and they're gonna make everything even and equal for me. It's like, dude, no.
Yeah, I mean, well, I've always said this to, I've never said this on the podcast, but I've always said this to a lot of people when looking at it from a business aspect. The casual player is who brings in the money for WoW. So I hate that they focus on those individuals and kind of give them what they want in a sense.
But in reality,
I'm always interested in like to see what Blizzard has to say. Do what? I'm sorry.
It doesn't really, like, here's the whole thing. This artifact power stuff is, like, honestly, doesn't really, we've said this, it doesn't affect your DPS as much as everyone thinks it does, because you and I, again, both have our hidden completely maxed. We have our artifact weapon maxed. I mean, we're pretty well geared. Like, I mean, I'm 895.
And we get smashed by Biggles every day.
We get smashed.
Every raid.
It's like, a class thing.
He's amazing.
We get smashed by a lot of different people on a lot of different fights. You beat me, I beat you. It's all dependent upon the mechanics, the fight, what your role is, how much gear you have, what gear you have, if you have your 4-set. Like, there's way too many factors. So guess what, Blizzard? We're still not going to take that guy into the raid, even if you lower the artifact power. Like, there's set conditions on raiding in certain guilds for a reason. And that guy who's only doing 300k DPS, even if he has his artifact trait or his artifact weapon maxed out, still isn't coming. You know what I mean? And
that was another thing I read through that was when I was reading it, like towards the end, he was talking about these individuals that are doing multiple runs, like keystone runs and stuff like that, to get artifact power. That's how they got to feel. That's how these are mythic raiders and stuff like that. I mean, they obviously needed this to help push them or progress them through, and that's okay. But what they're also talking about in there, from what I was understanding from it, is that you do a keystone and then you get your artifact power. You do a keystone of the same one, you get less artifact power, and it's going to start giving you a little bit less every time. It's kind of like, I'm like, are you kidding me?
We
like the whole point, like, so
our guildies.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean that was a big thing, and I like that they're changing this. This is a big thing. So congrats, Blizzard, for doing this. Is Maul Souls is going to drop X amount of AP because it's a faster dungeon. You're done in 15 minutes, and then Halls of Valor is going to be dropping significantly more. What they're looking at is
the time.
How many can you do? So if you do 15, if you can do a Maul Souls in 12 to 15 minutes, right? I don't know what the 3 chests thing is. I don't have it off the top of my head where the number is, but say 10 to 12 minutes or whatever it takes to do, because you can do probably 3 to 4 malls in 1 hour, right? Yeah. And so what they're looking at is the hour, like by the hour. So if you were to do, you would have to do 3 to 4 malls of souls to have the same amount that you'd get from a 45-minute, because that's what really Halls of Valor is. It's set for 45 minutes.
On a good day, on a below +7.
Right. Yeah, and so they're looking at it. So that one's going to give a lot more. So what they're trying to bring in some of these harder ones that do take more time is that allows it to give you more. And even Black Rook Hold, that's a good one. That's a good long. That's at least a what's it,
But that
30-minute?
one, people don't mind that one. Like it's
No, no,
really
no.
Halls
Yeah.
of Valor and what's the one in Suramar that nobody likes? Not Court of Star, the Arcway.
Arcway.
Nobody likes that one. Those are because when you get those keys, you're like, oh god. But
Yeah.
I mean,
You
it
know,
makes
one of my
sense to
worst, I
me.
mean, other than Halls of Valor, my worst one was not for me. When I say my worst one is the one I dislike the most, but a lot of people don't mind doing is Vault of the Wardens. I'm like, I like the aspect of it, but it's just
Yeah.
it
I
doesn't
don't
appeal to
mind
me.
Vault, but seriously, Halls of Valor, it's just like
Yeah.
I get that keystone and the modifiers are like even not even like they have to be like the hardest modifiers. If it's even like a modifier where I'm like, no, I'll burn my key. I won't even use it and I'll just go
Right.
use other people because it doesn't
Yeah.
matter, right? But
Yeah.
it does make sense that if the dungeon or the raid or the event, whatever this is that they're changing, like because I'm
Mhm.
sure some PvP battles are longer than others, so they should.
Right.
Yes, the more time you put in, the more reward you should get. I
Yeah.
completely agree with that, Blizzard.
It should always be that way. And but see, that's where they're to me when you look or you can look at from another aspect is that they're saying that more time you put in, but then they're talking about this artifact weapon and saying, well, more time you put in doesn't matter. Like they're
Exactly.
being contradictory of what they're saying. If you, I mean, obviously or not, those two different topics, right? Of what they're trying to correct, but if you look at it from the aspect of they're like, well, you spend more time here, you should get more. If you spend more time on the game that I pay for, that
You
I
should
should
be
I should
better.
I should be better than someone that only can put in like an hour to 2 hours a day. And you know, those people they put in more time on the weekends or when they call in sick to work and just the wife or kids are out of school and you don't have to worry about it. Everyone's quiet and you can just sit there and just binge on the game that day. So I mean, yeah, and they do well on that, but I mean, they just need to don't be so contradictory to like putting more time in, you get more reward, but yet on another aspect of the artifact weapon that takes a lot of time that I put a lot of time in, and I understand they're trying to close that gap, and that's why I was saying like on the mythic on the like the mythic race and all those guys that have all the gear. I mean, yeah, when you're seeing that number. That is significant. If we all have the same eye level, and just because someone has 54 and someone doesn't have 54 or something like that, or wherever they're at, and they're seeing a huge gap, that is an error. You don't want 10% is a huge gap. We don't want
Yes.
that big, but hopefully, I mean, all we can do is wait for 7.2 and see how these changes. Because a lot of people are like, "Well, it's too late to fix it." And I was like, "No, it's not.
No, it
Like,
isn't,
they're
'cause they're
resetting
doing
it.
a
They're putting it back to
reset it,
35. Yeah. So here's their chance, and they're trying to fix something. They're going to probably come back and say, "Well, we messed up on this because all this stuff." Because it really, guys, if a huge voice for Blizzard into how a lot of these things work, and I know. We look at it as one person. Well, if I go on there, but I mean, if everyone thinks that and they don't go on there, but PTR is really where they pull a lot of these numbers from when they're trying and having fun on the, or not having fun, but trying to pull some numbers and trying, they really don't understand. That's why so many hot fixes come out after a patch has come. They're like, well, you don't think they would have this fixed? No, because not everyone is playing in the PTR. So when you have the masses playing when it comes live, they actually get better true numbers, and then they also have to look at gear and eye level and all this kind of good stuff. When they bring the report down, they're like, okay, this needs to be tweaked, this needs to be fixed, and so. But if y'all haven't read this, go check this blue post out.
Yeah, and the comments too, because they're really interesting. Like if you scroll through, because there's, I mean, I don't think everyone is as like, I don't want to say angry, but like this is the first time in our podcast history that I've been fired up about something. So this is fired up, Brooks.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's gonna be interesting to see what they. I mean, obviously, Ian's probably gonna wait till. I don't know. He's probably gonna wait till Monday, and I mean he has to respond. He's got to respond to some of these things. But when you start going there, you see people are like, "This is stupid," and like that. Like if you're gonna give a response to something, or you're gonna make a comment, have some education behind it of why you're saying this. What is the point? Don't try to talk about the entire thing. Talk
about the part that affects you.
That affects you the most. That bothered you the most. Pull that quote out and say you're like this, but how has this hurt me? And let them answer that as a question instead of saying like when you post on there, this is stupid, Blizzard, you're ruining something. No, you don't see their vision, obviously. So let them explain some things, and that's how you accurately get a response from someone's like Ian and things like that. So just be mature when you're like, don't just rage on there because it doesn't make any sense.
This is World of Warcraft. Come
Yeah,
on.
because keep in mind, you rage, you feel good for a second. Not only do you get trolled and you just look retarded, and then your post is never going to be answered, and then you're more than likely to be deleted. So it doesn't. Only thing you're affecting is yourself. So, but just look at the part that like all of it. All of it upsets a lot of people, and so just look for the part that really were like, what? That gave you that what moment, and then respond to that. Pull that out. Respond to that. Take a minute. Read after you've written your response.
Yeah.
Read it and make sure it makes sense, and then post it. And more than likely, you'll get a response. If you don't, someone, when they see that, a lot of people will not troll you. They'll, like, a lot of people will look at me like, well, yeah. And even if it's not a Blizzard, maybe someone that's more educated into this will actually respond to that and answer your question. Or give your concern, because maybe they are on the PTR and you're just raging onto this and you don't do any PTR. So just give it a minute before you go blowing everything up, which it's already getting crazy. It's already like 3 pages long.
Yeah, it is. It's a little bit nuts, but you know what? I feel strongly about this, and I don't blame anyone else for feeling strongly. I do agree with you though. The whole this sucks, and it's like, okay. Thanks for that helpful information, bro.
Yeah, and guys, this is definitely something new that, just like I said, this is something we really wanted to take a little bit on our take into this, about how we wanted to see that. But and go into things that we're going to be looking forward to in 7.2. One of the things is the Broken Shore. Now, this place is very interesting because I see a lot of different aspects of that's pulling off of from other expansions. So first off, the Broken Shore, if everyone remembers, in Cataclysm there was the Molten Front, right? That we got to build. And so what we're doing is we're going out and we're starting doing quests. And we're going to get more. We build as a team, as everyone's working together, Alliance and Horde. We're going to, I think that their rendition of this is trying it out. Because if you do the Love is in the Air.
Yeah.
When you go to do your chemical, you can't attack Alliance. They can tag it, and because they're another faction, it ruins your tag.
Yeah.
But you can't kill any of them, because I've wanted to kill so many Alliance out there, but I can't. And so they're going, and so we're all building to something. Resources, and obviously it's going to build the base bigger and things like that. There is a scenario that starts off going into the Broken Shore when it comes out, when it'll go live. There's a scenario on the PTR. They've kind of cut all the scenes out, the clips and things like that, because those are the fun things that everyone gets to see anyways. Rest of it's just fighting, and that's where they want to pull numbers and grab and yada 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 for that. But so there's a scenario you go through, and then you start to build up your base, and we're going to build this up so we can take on go into the Tomb of Sargeras. That's going to be coming, about usually like a month after 7.2 will drop. But yeah, we're building into that, and there's invasion ships. It's kind of like what's going to be going on in the world when a zone like a Zuna or whatever, a zone actually becomes untackable. You can't do any daily quests. They just come into invasion daily quests. But on the Broken Shore, there's going to be a huge ship that's going to be flying around. There's going to be coins out there. It's going to be like the Tanan jungle. They're pulling that aspect. There's going to be, with these coins, so you'll get a beacon that you can loot off of mobs. You'll pull this beacon down. It'll open this portal, and then from the ship, they're going to be sending down guys. It starts in slow waves as usual. As it continues to go on, stronger guys come down. It works until it starts to bring public and community to work together. You don't have to be in a group with these people, but it will draw more people over there. So you collectively start. So it brings a team into this, even if it's Alliance or Horde or whatever it could be. You're actually working as a team to progress and move on, because as you kill these guys, they will drop these the coins that you'd be able to buy, like the vendor had in Tanan Jungle, where you would go and spend this and you would create an item. So it's going to be good for alts, essentially. And then you end up going to go up to the ship over this time and be able to get up there, and they have really cool scenario fights and stuff like that are going to be going on up there, and take it down, and it's going to respawn and yada yada. It's going to be rinse repeat. It's going to be fun for everyone else's. I would say it's going to be fun for like a couple of weeks, and then it's going to get old. It's gonna be just like daily quests and stuff, and then just like
It's
anything
the
normal.
same as anything. Those that there's going to be people who are
Right.
like, okay, this is cool. Like for example, me, I don't mind leveling from level 1 all the way because I feel like I get a good sense of like how the character works. But I know a lot of you just pay the $60 and now you're 100. So that drives me insane. I'm like, I have no idea what's going on. I feel so I feel so far behind. I'd like experiencing like the professions and the gathering and like doing all of those things. So to me, then it's just like wrecking the character for me.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, it will it will be a lot of fun out there, and I think it's going to be very interesting to see how some of it plays out. But I do like how it's bringing everyone together. And as a public team,
Reach out and touch a Kel'Thuzad.
yeah.
Man, those guys yesterday, I was like, I'm quitting this server. There was like tears streaming down my face. I was yelling at Andre over the phone. Like, they're going to think he's an abused husband. Someone's going to call like CAS on me or something.
But yeah, so guys, go check the Broken Shore. Is gonna be something a lot of fun. I do see that it's. I wanted to mention to this. So like I mentioned to non-jungle, right? It's going to bring in that aspect of it. The Molten Front as we're building resources. So that was really big. Also, Mista Pandaria did that as well when we went into heading up to the Throne of Thunder. That raid, there was I can't remember the name of the isle that we went over there to. I don't know. You didn't play much of Mist, right?
No,
Is that
I didn't. I came back at the very, very end, but I can look this up for you. The Timeless Isle, is that the one you're talking about?
No, Timeless Isle came later. It was
Isle of
before. It's like
Thunder.
Isle of Thunder, yeah.
There you
So I
go.
mean, they did the same thing there. So it's probably more of Isle of Thunder than I would say Molten Front. But Isle of Thunder was really neat because it really started off as a small base, and as we built this base up and get more resources and stuff like that, which also, what does it do? Also unlocks more dailies that you can do out there, things of that nature, to be able to push forward. Because all we're doing is we're building up. I mean, essentially, when you look at this on what this Broken Shore is meaning, just like with anything with WoW, we start small and we build up to push. And so it's probably going to take 4 weeks. For us to push in. And what we're doing is we're building a front. We're going back to the Broken Shore because we went to the Broken Shore. We got decimated. We got punched out. They dominated us. And then we went to, rest of Legion expansion, High Mountain, grabbing more people, getting these new factions and yada, yada, yada. And now we're going back to the Broken Shore. Now we're coming back revamped, healed up, I guess you could say. And we're taking the fight back to them. Starting at the beachhead and then pushing them back, and then creating all this big, getting a foothold into this as we push into the Tomb of Sargeras, which 7.2 is Tomb of Sargeras, but that will be the raid. So that's what we're pushing into. So keep in mind when you're looking at this and like, why this seems stupid and yada yada yada. But if you can also see it into an aspect of gameplay and story, it changes. Kind of like what you're fighting for and what you're pushing for.
And if you don't know the lore behind the Tomb of Sargeras, you should go and watch it because it was interesting. I watched it, and like there's
guys, there's a lot of videos out there,
like rifts and people, and just like it makes a lot more sense. Like this is what I find. I'm like because I never really pay attention to the lore of the game because it's just not my thing, but. I always kind of in the back of my head do that blind moment where I'm like, well, why are these guys so mad at us? Like, what's and then so like
well, they started it.
Yeah, it's all their fault. But because I got a little confused on Illidan crushing Gul'dan's skull and then knowing like Gul'dan was like alive, and then it ended up being like that there was like another dimension, and that was another like I think there's like 75 Gul'dans. But anyway. You can find those on YouTube. Just look them up. They're really good. Yeah,
there's some really good ones out there about the tomb. We are looking to do a podcast at some point in time. We're going to start talking about lore and things of that nature. But keep in mind that when you look at when you look at this expansion, you look at all the stuff they brought back. If you watch the Tomb of Sargeras, guys, is really big. Anybody that's lore out there, this is really big. What we're doing. It's something that has started way back, and why Medivh is involved, why they brought back Karazhan. They revamped that. A lot of things make sense why they've chosen certain things to do during this expansion, just because it all kind of makes sense through this process. But I'm not going to talk about that or anything like that. But go check out these videos out there. A lot of people that go into a lot of things of looking into this stuff.
It's really helpful for you to understand why you do the things that you do, for real.
Yeah. And just for Tomb of Sargeras, what we're talking, like, when I'm talking about, like, this started, like, in the first Warcraft.
Like 600 years ago or something.
Yeah, like when they started bringing this into the game, Warcraft 2, Warcraft 3,
old school,
and all the expansions in there and stuff like that. This is kind of like all this stuff has been here. And why are we doing this? It was because Metzen retired.
Like original Warcraft, where there was like the bushes and like you had to like move your dudes, and this is what I remember of Warcraft, but I never really like connected the two when I first started playing World of Warcraft until people, and then I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that, but I'm old, so back in the day.
Yeah.
Back in the day. And Snipes just isn't old, so just.
Yeah. Well, not as, but anyway. But yeah, so guys, go check that out, because there's a lot of stuff that's going in for this. And like I mentioned, I know I mentioned last week on the podcast, is this is Metzen, like I said, this is the ending game, and it's now coming to a close. So this is like coming up to the end guy, and then Ian takes the helm to start us to go into Sargeras. And
we believe in you, Ian. Don't fuck it up.
Oh, I definitely believe in it, because he's always, and that's one big thing that, as a side note here before we get into our next topic here, is that Blizzard has been so vocal about everything. They're doing posts. I know Lore even showed that how they've improved on responding to the community. And letting know when changes are coming and so on and so forth through that process. So I really appreciate it, Blizzard.
Even if we don't like it, we appreciate it.
Yeah. And do changes to AP, do all these, like, that's fine, but don't penalize me because I put more time into the game than someone else. That's that's our take. That's it. Other than that,
then you can penalize him if you're just trying to help me. That's okay. Just remember, Blizzard's Team Brooks.
Yeah. All right, so let's go into now. I don't do this a lot, but this has been kind of a hot topic a little bit. But go ahead and tell me what's so LFR. What do you think about LFR with Nighthold LFR?
Okay, well, I was like, okay, so like I said, and I've said this before, I understand the LFR system. I think that it's great on certain levels. I think it allows everyone who may not be the best player, who just may not have the time to still experience the content, but just on a I guess, I don't want to say dumbed down level, but it kind of is a dumbed down level. You know what I mean? Like,
easy.
Yeah, you can make more mistakes. Now, I liked the first 3 bosses that Blizzard put out, which was the Scorpion, Trillex, and the Chromatic Anomaly. I thought that was a really great first wing. I like the fact that they gave people 2 weeks to enjoy it, and then everyone was super excited the next wing was coming out, and then you threw the Botanist, Star Augur, and Spell at everyone, bro. Like, those to me are almost, well, 2 of them are like,
Spell has to be in there. Spell has to be in there.
Spell is like Spell is harder than Gul'dan, okay, in my opinion. Like, like when we get up into heroics and stuff like that. But
yeah,
LFR is, and excuse my French, a shit show on a good day, and that would be Tuesday because everyone's grinding out their ruins. But when you start joining this on like a Saturday, you are now scraping the bottom of the barrel. And that's like not saying, like, I'm not trying to be mean, but like you've got everyone's alts that are like, just at that line where they can enter LFR. You've got people who don't understand mechanics, and it's just like, it's very frustrating. I mean,
right.
Those are 3 fights that have a lot of things going on, and that's a lot for LFR to take, I think.
Yeah. So I know this This one's been kind of all over the place for me on LFR because I agree the original rendition of what LFR was and why it was introduced because Blizzard was tired of having raid content that wasn't seen by 90% of the community.
Right. Which makes sense.
Which makes sense. So LFR came out, they brought it in, and when they brought in LFR, it was allowing people to see what they work. So like part of this stuff, yeah, there's content with the, like Broken Shore and these invasions and all this cool stuff they're going to bring in. But a lot of their time, majority of their time is spent on these raids because that's how they're judged. Is raid in-game content on where you're going to go and what you're going to be doing through this process. And so a lot of it wasn't being seen. So I understand that the LFR, but then Blizzard has also said that one of the worst things they did was they brought in LFR. And I don't think it is. I think they're just mislooking. I think they're not looking at it correctly of why they brought it in. And now they bring in something. Now for a while they've actually made normal essentially the easy, and then heroic medium, and then mythic hard.
Right.
So they've actually finally, as LFR has allowed them to have time to create these 3 different levels of play that you can do with guildies and things like that. And even now when they've introduced pre-made, now LFR has become something that is not needed anymore because now they're actually getting all their raid content being seen. And so
I don't know if I would go
like if
as
people
far to say it's not
LFR
needed.
Blizzard has said if no one does LFR, they're going to take it all away.
But everybody does LFR.
I know LFR, yeah, because they're going to do it because that's how people get these augment runes and things like that. I don't even run it because I don't even care. I'd rather just go buy the augment runes.
I do. You know what? Seriously, that's what I felt like the other day. Like, Fade was like, hey, let's go do this. You want to come with me? We'll run. And I was in there and I just got to the point where I was like, no, because you get to the point where people aren't leaving your LFR raid because they're dicks. People are leaving your LFR raid because they just don't have the time to waste. Not when they're raiding with their guild and they're going into heroic or mythic content.
Yeah,
they're just
people
there.
Are raiding doing 2, 3, 4 days a week, and then you go in there with people that are.
The gear means
LFR,
nothing to us.
Yeah, and I like LFR for like gearing an alt, because you can go in there very low eye level. Yeah, I know, but I mean it's one of those things that I don't want to feel the guild has to carry me just because it's going through. Like LFR to me is amazing. I love that there's an LFR because there was time that I was super casual and I only had a little bit of time, but I actually got to see the raid because I'm really in like. If y'all have never like picked this up at all, then like I'm really into like the WoW story, with every expansion, even the shitty expansions. Like I'm into their story. I want to see what their story is. Where are you going with this? What are we looking at? I'm really into that kind of stuff.
Yes.
And I try to make make an entertainment out of it. And so a lot of these stories end up in a raid. I mean, that's where it's kind of like the ending on that before it opens up the next chapter of this same book, or whatever of this expansion. But I'm into this and I want to see it. And there was a time when I couldn't see as much raid because I just didn't have that much time with it. When they brought LFR, it's like, hey, I have a day that I can go, like Tuesday is, like I don't have anything going on, or like I'm off on the weekends and then I have, X amount of time, when I wasn't, training horses and things like that. Like I had like a time that I can go spend and I can go do LFR and go check out like, oh, there's this new raid and I can go check out the story there and I can do this and do a couple dailies and then I'm done for the week. Like I don't have to come back to this game. Like I'm all caught up. And I'll see you next week on this day. Right. So it made it really cool for me to go spend like little time. And
all of the guild. Like when guilds kind of fell apart after Cataclysm there, which I know that they kind of did, especially with like Warlords of Draenor. I feel like LFR was really helpful because you didn't have to rely on other people to do content.
Right. Yeah, so, and I can log on at, if I couldn't sleep one night and I'm like, hey, you know what? I'm going to log on at, 11. I woke up at 1 in the morning, and I can't sleep. I can't go back to sleep. Well, I'm going to go jump in and do LFR wing real quick so I don't have to worry about that. And then I go through that and I'll be like, okay. And by the time I'm done with it, because it took stupid and it was long and understand the story and yada, yada, yada. And then I'm going to go to sleep. So it was cool. Like, I love that where I didn't have to I don't have to have this time plan that I'm going to go raid. It just worked for my schedule. And a lot of people out there today, that does work for them. LFR does work for them. What I don't like is how some of these if you're going to go into something, and then you're wondering why you're wiping. It's because you're standing in one spot. You're not paying attention. You don't even probably have. If you don't like to pay attention to stuff, then what's the
Called
add-on that
Hello
says?
Kitty. Go and play it.
Well, no. There's an add-on that says, I think it's called
It's called Get the Fuck Out.
yeah, get the fuck out, and it will freaking.
It's
Not only does it
GTFO,
light up your screen, it's like it yells at you and says, "Get the fuck out!" And then you move.
It actually makes it a really annoying wah, wah, wah sound.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Basically, yeah. And then you move out of what you're not supposed to be standing in, or you're doing whatever. And then it shuts up.
And we all use that. I use that all the time. That's how I know.
I don't have it because I pay attention.
No, it's not even about paying attention. It's about, and I know when people are like spreading crap to me that they shouldn't be, like all that HIV that gets spread on spell there.
Yeah.
And I mean icy veins. I was just trying to be funny. Or like that. That was funny. I'm so mean today. I am so sorry.
I was trying not to laugh too hard. But.
No, I am just like, you know what? Okay, so this is the thing with LFR. It's great for a number of different reasons. One being that it allows people to have content, to be experiencing content that maybe they couldn't do otherwise. Right. Two, it also allows those of us who need ruins to go in there and farm them, or to gear out our alts because we just don't want to raid like 7,000 nights a week. But it also bred, before LFR, if you weren't good at raiding or good at mechanics or good at understanding instructions or trying, you couldn't come. And there's a reason for that, because say like back in the day there was 10 or 25 man. So especially in a 10 man, you needed all 10 people to be on point, because maybe you could carry one person, 9 people could carry one, but you can't carry like 2 or 3. You had to be on point. So there was a reason that this stuff was hard. And even in 25 man, 25 mans, they used to be like 25 mans used to be like LFR. Because that's the one we all stand in Dalaran waiting for someone to be like looking or forming a 25-man ICC. And then like 700 people, because that was when they took the combined lockout out, right? So you could run 10-man with your guild and 25-man otherwise. But do you remember so we'd go run 25-man all in this big group and people would get kicked out and they would suck and then it would fall apart and blah, blah, blah. But that used to be the LFR.
I remember, LFR. I remember that it used to be... You know how many times I made macros and things like that? Let's go back to vanilla. Let's take it back real quick back to vanilla. I was doing vanilla. I was doing vanilla and trying to do strat and Skolo and things like that. And it would be me and someone else and looking for tank and 2 DPS for Skolo. Yeah. And then once we fill those and having to recorrect what you're putting out there in general and trade and yada 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 and all through that process. So that was the LFR system, and that's how it was. And when you spend sometimes it's quick, but most of the time spending 30 minutes to an hour.
You used to have
reposting, and then when you get in there.
We got our fishing achievements, guys.
But but I mean that's where it was with that was the old type of LFR. So they just brought the community into one simple spot. If you're interested, you just click on this, and then it will join you into everyone else that's going into it. That's great.
System. But they
made a streamlined system. But before all that, when you had to search for people to go, you didn't know eye levels then. No. You just knew there was 5 people wanting to do a dungeon. And I guarantee you, they knew what the fuck was going on in that dungeon. So if you're doing LFR, it ain't going to take. Line of Sight Gaming does an amazing 2-minute video, and you can go watch them. Just look for the stuff that you're not supposed to spend, or get the add-on that yells at you, that tells you not to stand in stuff. But some of these fights, it's not because standing in stuff. It's just because you're not.
You know why? Because it took a long, long time to form a group before. It took a while. It wasn't instantaneous. You didn't have a random system doing it for you. So when you got there, you didn't have time to waste, because you had already wasted so much time even forming this group or getting to this place, because summoning stones were it. You couldn't, there was no flight path every 50 meters. You had to work to get there. So by the time you got there, if that one person was screwing it up for you and there was only 10 of you in there, it was God,
Yeah, you kick them out and found someone else, or you say, "Hey, you better wake the fuck up on this. If you don't know this fight," and like we used to do that so many times when we'd pug into this before all this stuff came about, and says, "Hey, if you don't know this fight, you better speak up, because if you don't know this fight,
We'll tell you.
and you're gonna speak up, we might wipe one time, but we're gonna give it to you because you didn't know this fight." And there's a lot of new stuff you're not seeing that you're not used to, and that's okay. But if you don't say anything, get out of here.
Unfortunately, LFR bred people that figure that because it's so easy that there's half those people are AFK, man. Half of them are just standing and stuff because they're not there. Because you're
Auto
carrying
shooting,
them.
calling it a day.
Yeah. And like this bred people that don't understand mechanics because they dumbed it down to the point of you can stand in fire for 25 minutes and not die. Mm-hmm. And in reality, in any other raid situation, you can't do that. So they have taken it's just the way of the world, I guess. So,
well, I mean, like when you look at LFR and you look at it and how, like, yes, Blizzard, you came out with something that was amazing that allowed people to see content, and then there's the people out there that used LFR in a way for them to start to learn how to become a raider, and trying to perfect the way they play and how they can move around. Because you can tell by people when they're like really trying. You know, they might be lowest on DPS, but they're trying. They're trying to pay attention to stuff they're seeing. They're not used to raiding. Not used to being like the commandery with everyone, and then moving forward from that process. And so, I mean, congratulations to that. But with everything that it comes with the good, there's always the bad. And it's just too many people that go in there and they say, well, you can just go into pre-made and because I can go into pre-made and I get carried because there's people doing this and that and I don't have to do anything. You know, it's like, it's just horrible. Like for the whole idea of this, people, is to help the people that you're going in there. If you're geared out, you're going in there for a reason. So take the time. If you're gonna click to go into an LFR, maybe you want augment runes or anything like that, the quicker you go in there and then you down the stuff, you can be in and out and be done with it. If you see people messing up and you see people, but a lot of times it's the higher geared people that are sitting there auto shooting, doing nothing, just because they're like, well, I'm already doing this. Right. And I'm just like, it's like, well, I mean, come on. LFR is like, I hope that LFR never goes away. But I mean, at this point in time with the pre-made and stuff like that, it naturally has become, LFR has become this like task that no one likes doing, like mowing your yard or something.
I'm not doing it anymore.
I don't do it. I haven't done it in forever. That's why I was asking you. Because I haven't even done LFR in Nighthold because I don't want to do it. I don't want to go in there.
I mean,
spend a lot of time with people that are going to be. Why should I work hard if no one else is working hard, right? And I know it's a horrible way to look at it, and I know I don't agree with myself, but
I won't do it on bricks anymore. Like I'll take Alton. That's it.
I might do an alt, but or might go in there with an alt, but more than likely I'm not. Like I just get my alt.
However, I don't know if you know this, but LFR is a good place. Like say you pull up one of those, like whatever. Say you pull up one of your missions that has the you need to go and kill Xavius or Cenarius or whatever. You can just quickly run through LFR and do that now. So it is good if you just want to finish off those quests that you get from the missions.
Yeah, no, that is good. I mean, I think I've done some LFRs on Emerald Nightmare and stuff like that, just to go in there and finish the mission. Speaking of that, like I didn't get one mission for Nighthold this week yet. Did you?
No, not on bricks, but on my priest I did.
Oh, okay. Yeah, not on my main. Yeah, I haven't, and obviously that's the one I'm mainly playing. The other ones if y'all don't know, I know everyone that like guild that listens and things like that. They like I get 110 on a character and I'm pretty much done with that. I don't worry about getting them geared out and all that stuff. I like to see the story. Like I'm a story guy. Like I like to go to their campaign to see where they're going with this.
Yeah, see their class
and then and I get to 110. I might mess around a little bit with getting their art. Now it made it really easy with artifact power and artifact knowledge, getting that up. And then, but yeah, I'm like, I'm not, I spend way too much time on my hunter and I still feel like I'm incomplete with my hunter. Some people just like to put a lot of time into one character and I'm one of those type of people. I put a lot of time into one character. I want to get everything maxed out. I mean, hopefully by 7-2, it's not going to happen. But yeah, I would like to say that I have 54 on my survival and 54 on my marksman that I never play.
I mean,
but I still feel like
Hook does it too. Hook, like primarily, I don't think I've ever seen him play anything else. Have you?
No, I actually haven't.
I
No.
mean, I play a lot of my alts, but I can tell you, like, Brooks is the only character that I will ever seriously like raid with. She's always the first through everything. Like, she is my primary focus, and until I'm
Yeah.
finished with things on her, I don't go and move on. But that's
Yeah.
kind of who I am. And same thing now. Like, I'm working on my priest, so I won't really like move on to anything else until like if I don't get. I want to go level my hunter, but I won't level my hunter today until after I finish everything else I need to get done.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? So.
Right. Yeah.
But I mean, LFR, I like it for certain reasons, but I hate it for others.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean it's good there. Like I said, it's one of those things that's good if you look at for its aspect. But some of these fights, yes, I agree, they make them a little hard on LFR. But if you look at it, it's just because people aren't paying attention. It's really not that hard. They've actually dumbed it down pretty good.
I agree.
Honestly, they should just make LFR should be just there for LFR, and it really, honestly, they should just make them all tank and spank and call it a day. I mean, that's just where it should be. And then people are going to go in there and get it, and they remove those. Like in Star, there should be no ad that comes in at the end. They can move around a little bit and stuff like that. No ad that comes in that should be taken away. But I understand that it's there for people to to do. But if you look at heroic, like you look at normal and heroic, and then mythic, every one of these fights, it adds something more, or you have to push faster. Like you need to be on point. You can't mess up. So either it adds something, or you can't mess up. So let's look at like LFR to normal for just say Star real quick. On LFR, you remove the ad at the end in the final phase, and then normal. Now you get introduced to the ad, and then heroic, you get an ad that's
No,
kind
the
of running
ad is
around.
still there on LFR.
I know that's what I'm saying is
you're
they
saying
can
it's
correct,
remove
like just
it,
make it
okay.
a tank, a spank, and call it a day. Like, come on, Liz.
But that's not even the hard one. Like,
Well, that's what it gets everyone feared. Either everyone goes.
yeah.
If everyone everyone always wipes on LFR from what I've read, everything, everyone wipes to the last phase because either it's split.
Yeah.
Either people are on boss and some people are on ads, or vice versa. When you're going into LFR, for anyone that's listening, if you're choosing to do LFR, and you go to do Star, in the very beginning, say, hey, are we just someone ask, are we killing ad first, or are we just going to stay on boss? Because either one that you do, you will be fine in LFR. You can just stay on the bites and ignore the ad, or you go to the ad, ignore and kill the ad, then go, and then everyone just focus on the boss, and then forget the second ad that might come out.
Yeah.
Choose one or the other. If it's split, that's why you're failing. Either do one or do the other. Just everyone needs to be working together and saying, all right, everyone, just like turn your back. Like the tank will pull the ad over to the back, and then everyone just stay on boss, and everyone's working it, and you kill them, and it's no problem. It's just that you have people that are like, well, we do this in normal, or we do this, and so you have split DPS. When you have split DPS, it's a fail every time unless a fight requires you to split DPS. So my take on that to help out LFRs.
Way to go, Snipe. Be a hero.
And then one final thing before we hand out for the night. I did want to mention that in 7.2 there is something new that is coming. So anybody that's out there that does pet battles, I do some every now and then. It's fun when they do like a raiding with leashes type kind of thing.
Yeah.
We go find all these new pets, and then I level them all up. And then when obviously, like not this week, but last week's was do 5 PvP pet battles. I didn't do any of those last week because I have pretty much all the pets that I want to be 25. Not all my pets are 25, but basically everything that I care about is 25. But in 7.2, a first ever pet battle dungeon is coming. There's a lot of stuff they've been playing around with this on PTR, and they're moving forward. Like it's going to be a lot of fixes and changes and stuff like that. But it's going to be very interesting to see how this goes. It's going to be a dungeon. It's not the actual first dungeon of WoW, but to me, it is everyone's first dungeon, Wailing Caverns. There was the one in Orgrimmar.
Oh, God. Are you serious?
The first pet battle dungeon is Wailing Caverns. Yeah. It's going to be kind of the same thing. You're walking in, you're going to take on you're going to have trash. You're going to have trash, which is like small little pet battles. It's going to be kind of like the Timeless Isle event, the tournament, So you can't heal any of your pets while you're in there. So you have to have multiple pets. So guys, if you're a pet battler or you go and collect all these pets, get a bunch of pets up, get them 25, get them ready, get a lot of pets into, humanoids and yada, yada, all the different ones. A lot of ones that have really good, strong abilities. Like Sandstorm is really a good one, but there's multiple pets that have Sandstorm, so you don't need just one. Anubisith Idol, he's not the only one that has it. There's a Broom that has it there, and there's a bunch of them out there, pets that have the Sandstorm.
Wait, the Enchanted Pen and the new one that the priest can make, it has, and I only know this because I looked it up because my priest can make it.
Yeah.
The ability that stops whatever. Okay, so I can't remember the name of it, but
I know what you're talking about.
Okay, and
they're the only one. It's the only one out there that has this. It's called like Nevermore or something like that.
No, there's the pen and there's one other one. I can't remember, but it's both.
Well, it's a Raven, but it has to be Alliance to get it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it's the only one that has it, and I believe it's called Nevermore.
And it stops you from being able to cast something for 5 rounds, right?
It stops the opponent from being able to. They can't cast that again. Once they it stops that cast, and then they can't cast it for 5 rounds. So some of these really strong ones that are out there, we go in there. So it's gonna be really interesting to see what's gonna go on with this Pet Battle Dungeon. I'm really excited about it.
I bet you are, because you are just like, you love your pet battles.
Yeah, and it's one of those things that you're not going to be able to go into like it is a scenario, but it's not like you're going to be going to a like pulling up the looking for group and say, hey, go ahead and get me into this dungeon. No, you got to fly out to the Barrens. You have to go in there.
Oh
yeah, you got to go out there. You got to go in there. You go talk to a guy. Instead of normally you would just walk into the dungeon, but instead there's a guy going to be standing there and be like, yeah, I want to do a pet battle dungeon right now.
Sorry, Snipe.
Yeah, the dogs are excited.
They're like pet battles. It's kind of funny. This is funny.
Yeah.
So you remember when the Molten Corgi came out?
Yeah.
Okay, and then they brought out the 2 new corgis. Okay, well, my small dog, the one that has the smaller bark, she's actually half corgi, half husky. So I was like, I need this dog. Like, I don't even know who I have to kill to get this, but I'm getting this pet. So I got all 3 of them. I was super excited for it.
Nice.
Yeah, and only just because of her.
Yeah.
But that's exciting, actually. I like doing pet battles. I wish I was more into it, but I have so many achievements to get.
I think a lot of people will be out there. Like, I don't do a lot of there's so many achievements to get for like PvP and stuff. I do it mainly just taking on a boss. PvP, even when I play on Snipe, I do some PvP and I have a lot of fun when I'm in there, and I like more coordinated, so I'd rather do a lot more PvP with guildies or with friends.
We should start doing that. I'm going to put it on the calendar.
Yeah, I mean, that would be fun for us to do that, as well as imagine if you've done solo PvP out there, you have a good time. But even if you have one friend or maybe 2 friends that are with you, you start winning battles, and you 3, even if it's at a fight of 15, like you're on a 15-man team, you 3 can change the course of the battle just because you 3 have worked together.
Yeah.
You're like, hey, I'm going to go do this. I'm going to stop that. Hey, no, I got this guy over here. You get over, yada, yada, just like coordination goes. And so I have a lot more fun when I do it with people. That we're all communicating and talking and moving through that process. So it's gonna be exciting with this pet battle stuff.
Just on the calendar because of the guild leader.
But yeah, so y'all, the pet battle stuff, go check it out. It's Blizz. You can go to BattleNet News. Not BattleNet News, I'm sorry, but Battle.net. You can go to World of Warcraft and go to the news section. They have information on it. And like I said, there's gonna be trash moving up to a final. There's gonna be 3 bosses in there. There's 3, I believe, 3 or 4 bosses, and there's 3 trash, smaller type kind of fights. You go and then you go take down a big guy, and then you progress through the dungeon. And every boss fight is harder once you get to it, as you progress through the dungeon. So it's really interesting. I'm really excited about it. I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. I'm gonna have to probably go back out and find a bunch more pets that I don't have and get them 25. But
if you guys
I'll see when it comes.
If you guys have questions about pets, Snipe's probably the most knowledgeable person I know about that. So you should leave comments or down below, email us, whatever, because he helped me. He was like, oh, because I don't even pet battle, and I'm like, what do you mean I need these pets? And you're like, go get this one, go get this one, go get this one, go get this one.
Yeah.
So it was
And
helpful.
I'm not gonna lie out there, like I used to hate pet battles. I used to never mess with it. My best friend Deathbringer on that we play with and stuff like that. He got me. He was really into it. He's still into pet battles as much, and he started to teach me some. He does a lot more of trial and learning. I am smarter. I see it as smarter because I go look a bunch of stuff up and
Death is kind of a try and go and
yeah.
try kind of guy.
Yeah, and I'm like, no, dude, you need to get this. And he's like, I don't need someone to tell me, but I was like, well, it's easier if someone just says, well, if you have these 3 pets, you can kill this guy in like 5 minutes.
I'm with
like,
you.
really quick.
I like anyone who goes and does that research for me so that I can go research their research. I'm good with that. Yeah, Google for the win.
Yeah, like I know I've mentioned before, but there's a really good there's a guy that does a guide out there that I know I've posted a lot on there, and he's changed some strats or given alternative strats, some stuff that I found that be helpful. But it's Zufu's Pet Guides.
Okay.
He's really cool. It's constantly updating and changing and stuff like that. It has all the old school stuff on there. If you're going in for achievements from Draenor, Pandaria,
Nice.
the tournament, he has a lot of. Go check it out, guys. If you want to get some of those achievements and you just kind of want to mess around, doing this will also help you learn some of the pets and their abilities. And then he breaks it down like when you go on this guy, do this first, then do this thing. If you look at it more than just reading do this ability and then this ability and learning why they're doing that ability, why that helps, what you're looking for out, then you do some PvP stuff, you can go into those PvP fights a lot stronger, where you're not wasting abilities, understanding how to build up an ability, and knowing right times to execute it. So it's a lot of fun. Go check that out. For that, and I know he's gonna have it updated for when it comes out for the dungeon. So there's probably gonna be another like, go get these 80 pets to be able to do this dungeon.
Okay.
Yeah. But as usual, yeah, definitely reach out to us at WoW Reckoning Hour, abbreviated. If you were on the Twitterverse and or not Twitterverse, but Twitter and Facebook, things like that. And you also email us. Easiest way, just email us at wowreckoninghour@gmail.com, all spelled out. And then that's where you can get me. And Brooks, where can we find Yewsby?
Well, okay, but Snipe, you forgot to tell everyone we're on the YouTube.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
And the SoundCloud. We're on the YouTube and the SoundCloud.
This has been really easy. So if y'all have, obviously you found the show, but if you have anybody else that is needing the show, you can just Google search WoW Reckoning Hour. We're all over the first page of Google. Yep.
We will have all the episodes on SoundCloud. SoundCloud takes a little bit longer, but I'm working on getting all those up there. But yeah, if you want to hang out with me or be my friend on Twitter, it's just at Brooksverse. That's Verse, and then obviously,
this is your universe.
It is my universe, man. And like my husband and I, Andre, we will be doing a podcast about our real life and our WoW life and how it intermingles because we got married because of World of Warcraft. And obviously we'll have guest stars. Sure, you guys can be guest stars, I guess. We'll have people come and talking and, just stuff. It'll be fun, and it's going to be on YouTube as well. And if you search for the WoW Reckoning Hour, that stuff will pop up as well because it's all tagged together. So
when you doing your recording?
I'm not sure if we're gonna do it tomorrow or Sunday. It all depends on how much sex we want to have this weekend. But no, I'm not sure. Probably Sunday, and then it takes me like 0 time to edit because I am as far from a perfectionist as possible. So
okay,
yeah, but I'll let you know.
Okay. Awesome. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's where we can find us. But that is our show for today. Mm-hmm. A lot of hot topics out there. We've been going over these last few shows. Been going over definitely our hour. But you can always hit the pause button and then continue on for the last few when you
Don't hit
whenever
the
you
pause
want.
button. We're great.
All right. Yeah, exactly. It's intoxicating.
It is.
But yeah, I mean, like I said, that's our show, and hope everyone that listens to our show, thank you very much. Just I don't like as normal. I don't know what else to say other than thank you. But hey, guys, don't forget, keep calm and fly on.